Please join me in welcoming to the stage a leader that knows the true value of our workforce development model and the mayor of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Cavalier Johnson.
Oh, good morning, everybody. President McGarvey, General Presidents, thank you so much for having me. Good morning, NAP 2. There we go. Let's try that one more time because I know we have to do a warm-up for President Joe Biden, who's joining us later today. So let's try that again. Good morning, NAP 2. There we go. I love it. I love it, and I know that President Biden will as well. Yes, like this organization, my city that you just saw, the city of Milwaukee, is laying the foundations for the future. And they're being laid with the building trades as an essential element in making that happen. The Milwaukee building trades, they are a great partner, an outstanding, tremendous, great partner for us. And they're working to make sure that they represent the interests of their members, yes, but those interests also coincide with what's best for the city, what's best for residents all across Milwaukee. Because I want for workers to be paid fairly for the work that they do. I want workers to be safe, and I want quality. I want union quality to be a part of more and more projects in Milwaukee. Projects that we've all seen and loved, projects like the Deer District, where the Milwaukee Bucks have been hosting the first round of the NBA playoffs, that was built wall to wall with union labor under a project labor agreement in Milwaukee. I want to see more of that. And I'm proud to call so many leaders in the labor movement at home friends. I know that Dan Bukewicz, the president of the Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades, is here working as sergeant at arms. He's a good friend. Hey, Dan, I know he's out there somewhere. There he is. Hey, Dan, how you doing? But it's not just Dan. It's Tony and John from LiUNA. It's Jose, and it's Corey, and it's Christopher, and it's all my friends. Too many to name here in this room today. And guess what? I've got another friend. All of us have another friend. And I'm enthusiastic about the investments that are coming, not just to Milwaukee, not just to Wisconsin, but all across the United States from his administration. And I'm talking about the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden. With the help and the support of President Biden's administration, in Milwaukee, we're working to replace lead pipes that carry lead to folks in their drinking water at their homes. With the support of President Biden, we're working to make investments in other infrastructure to make sure that streets are safer for all users of the roadway. It doesn't matter if you're driving, if you're taking the bus, if you're riding a bike, if you're pushing a stroller, if you're on an electric scooter, it doesn't matter. We're making the streets safer for everybody because of the investments that are coming from Joe Biden's administration. And late last week, we celebrated a multi-million-dollar investment in our urban forestry, all thanks to the IRA and President Joe Biden. Thank you, President Biden. All these investments, they're benefiting the residents in my city. And importantly, they're increasing apprenticeships. They are increasing apprenticeships, bringing well-trained people into the ranks of union workers. And there's more to come. I am enthusiastically awaiting the next announcements about workforce hubs. We want one in Milwaukee because there are growth opportunities, because there are significant needs, and we need to bring more union workers into projects all across our city. Now, I've got big ambitions for Milwaukee, huge ambitions for our city going forward. Now, I want Milwaukee to be a city with a population of 1 million people, 1 million Milwaukeeans. But to get there, we'll need a boost in our infrastructure. We need to attract good manufacturing jobs, and we need more housing. Speaking of housing, you know who's helping with housing? I'll tell you, it's the Housing Investment Trust. Housing Investment Trust. Just recently, thanks to the AFL-CIO's Housing Investment Trust, We cut the ribbon on a beautiful new transit concourse at the base of the Couture. 44 stories, the tallest residential tower in the state of Wisconsin, located on Milwaukee's lakefront. These hundreds and hundreds of new residences would not have been possible without an over $100 million investment from HIT. That's incredible. $100 million. And Milwaukee's been a great beneficiary of the generosity and the support of HIT. The Couture is not even the first development to receive such support. Years ago, the Moderne, another skyline-defining project in Milwaukee, received investment from HIT. And we hope that there's going to be more and more to come in Milwaukee, because HIT and the investment that they make are hugely important for our continued growth. Speaking of things that are hugely important, 2024, it's a huge political year. Yes, for me personally, just about 2 weeks ago, I was reelected to continue serving as mayor of the city of Milwaukee. In fact, my election makes me not just the first African American to be elected mayor. We did that in 2022, but my election makes me the first African American, the first person of color to be elected to a full 4-year term to serve as mayor of Milwaukee in the city's entire history, going back to 1846. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But what we did not do that alone. We didn't do that alone. We accomplished that with union support. That's how we got here. That's how we got here. That's why we accomplished that great milestone. We did it with union support, because it was unions in Milwaukee that supported me. It was unions in Milwaukee that endorsed me. It was unions in Milwaukee that pushed the message. And it was labor that was part of the reason why I garnered more than 80% of the vote in Milwaukee. That's because of unions. Now, after my own election is done, I'm laser focused on November, as I know that everyone in this room is as well. And in Wisconsin, we all have to do our part to re-elect a good friend of organized labor, and someone I'm proud to call a friend as well. And that's United States Senator for Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin. We have to re-elect Senator Baldwin. And in addition to Senator Baldwin, we have to do all that we can to make sure that we re-elect someone who's been an outstanding friend to organized labor. That's President Joe Biden. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Folks in this room and even far beyond this room know this all too well, that in my state, in Wisconsin, it'll be particularly important in deciding who the next president is. So we all, each and every single one of us, myself included, we need to be fully engaged in getting voters out to the polls. We need to make sure that the candidate who is looking out for working people is elected again. And just to be clear again, I'm not talking about anybody out there running for president. I'm talking about the one who marches on picket lines. I'm talking about the one who makes sure that we're investing in our communities. I'm talking about the man who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right now. I'm talking about the President of the United States, Joe Biden. We need to re-elect Joe Biden. And President Biden has been an outstanding partner, an outstanding friend. And I speak a lot about partnerships, because that's how we get things done. That's how we get things done in Milwaukee. It's partnerships. It's all of our partnerships that have help to drive crime down in Milwaukee. It's our partnerships that are attracting new investment and new jobs, new opportunity to Milwaukee. And it's our partnerships that are increasing the quality of life for people in my city. It's partnerships with labor and Empower Her that are tackling the issue of childcare for folks who want to work in the labor movement. Those are the sort of partnerships that we need. And I personally am so appreciative to the partnerships that I have had and my administration has been able to have with organized labor. Together, we're helping young people to discover what's possible in their lives. Together, we're building a city of the future with new landmarks brought to us by the labor of residents in our city, adding to our neighborhoods, adding to our skyline, adding to stability in their lives. Together, we're making improvements, not just in our neighborhoods, in our community. You guys, we're making improvements to my own house with labor. In fact, when a pipe bursts in my home, I call on the folks of Plumbers Local 75 out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to help make sure we solve those issues. When I have an issue in my house and I need paint to go up on my walls, those brushes they're not touched by somebody unless they come from a labor union in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So, my friends in labor, we've got strong, very strong mutual interests, and we're well on our way to accomplishing some great things all across Milwaukee. And it doesn't matter if it's my house, it doesn't matter if it's in our schools, it doesn't matter if it's in our workforce, it doesn't matter if it's in my city, it doesn't matter if it's in our state, it doesn't matter if it's in our country. Unions will lead the way. Thank you all so much.